What is up, guys? Welcome to episode number 24 of Reezy Talks, formerly known as Money Talks. This is the show where you guys can call in and ask me questions. It's essentially a live AMA. So anything you guys want to know about that I can help you with, whether it's Amazon, social media, books, video production, whatever, anything that is inside this brain that might be able to help you, I would love to share it with you guys. So if you have a question, please call in. The number, this phone is live during the show times. It's 209-83 Reezy. I'm going to head over to YouTube and check out the comments and see if we happen to have anybody on there, as that is always a great source for questions. What's up, Upscale Sales? What's up, Megan Flavius? How are you doing? Let me know if you have any questions, and I will make sure to get those answered. I got a couple questions on Instagram live right now. I'm also live on Instagram. Let me see. So Austin Dobbins says, how do you automate your review emails? I'm assuming you mean feedback, but you can also do it with reviews. We use a service called Feedback Genius. And I believe their website is feedbackgenius.com. It's pretty inexpensive, and it allows you to tailor a message that you can send to your customers when you order or when they order. And you can choose when you want the message to arrive, right after they order, when the tracking gets marked as delivered, 2 days later, etc. And then you just get human on it. And, we're a small business. We appreciate your feedback, blah, blah, blah. And that really will help increase the amount of feedback you get. And I'm sure I've said it before, but obviously you need feedback when you don't have any. But once you get a certain amount, it doesn't really help so much to have, if you have 10,000 feedback, 20,000 is not much different, or even 50,000 or 100,000. It's just people want to see that you're trustworthy and you have some feedback. But what it does help to do is the more frequent that you get good feedback, the easier and quicker a bad feedback will roll out of view from a customer. Because when you have a bad feedback in your last 5 feedbacks, it's quite visible to the customer. So if you get 20 positive feedbacks a day, they will get washed down the drain much faster. And that helps you out a lot. Let me see. We had another question. If you guys have a question, please put question in all capital letters. That way it's easier for me to identify the questions. Let's see what we got. Another question on here. Has Hamza Hidayat, sorry, I murdered that name. I'm super sorry. Says, if I'm using a prep service, do I need scan lister and a scanner? You do need a scanner to help you find, I'm guessing if you're using a prep service, you're probably ordering books online arbitrage. So you might not need a scanner, and you're not, I don't know. I don't really use a prep service, so I'm not sure how that works essentially. Do you build your shipments for them and send them the labels and they send it off? I'm not sure. You're going to have to talk to your prep service and see how the intricacies of that works. If any of you guys do use a prep service and you have knowledge to provide on that, please put that in the chat or feel free to call in to the show. The number is 209-83 Reezy, and I would love to chat with you guys. And even if you just want to call in to drop some knowledge, you don't have a question, you have a tip, call in and let's help out the Ninja Network. So Antonio HC27 says, what software do you use for accounting? I use 2 things for accounting. One, I use QuickBooks Online, and we use credit cards as much as possible for all of our purchases, and we use different credit cards for different things. That way it's easier for QuickBooks Online to learn and understand what we're doing. But I use a spreadsheet, a highly advanced, evolved spreadsheet made by Caleb Roth, the book flipper. You can get that spreadsheet at tr.im/accounting. So it's www.tr.im/accounting, and that is made to work with ScanLister data. So you can make your upload in ScanLister, export the data, and import that into the accounting spreadsheet software, which is really good. Nick Fort said, what's your thoughts on reselling pop Funkos? I don't know anything about Funko Pops, pop Funkos. However, I don't even know which way you're supposed to say that. But I was restricted on those for a very long time. I've sold a handful of them, but I don't know too much about them. I know my boy Rally Roots got a really sick Shenron limited one, and he has a Dragon Ball Z Funko Pop collection. That's about all I know. Let's see. Tom says, it's getting difficult to sell anything on Amazon. I got some new Hamilton Beach and Cuisinart. Is it Cuisinart appliances, and Amazon won't let me sell them. You might want to request approval for them, or you might just have to sell them on eBay, guys. Amazon's not the only player in the game, right? Let's see if we got any more on here on Instagram Live. All right, I'm going to end the Instagram Live because I got some questions on the actual Instagram wall. And let me go touch over to the live chat since some people rolled up in here. If you're watching and you appreciate my content and the time I put into this, please smash the like button. I can see we got 42 people watching, and only 12 of those people have pressed the thumbs up button. It's super important for me. The more the videos get liked, the more it gets delivered to other people via the Facebook algorithm, and that helps me reach more people. So it's always nice to have more thumbs up on a video. Let's see. In the YouTube live chat now. Gonna go through here, guys. Welcome. What took you so long? What's good, guys? Anyone have any of that merch luck? Yeah, I got a little story too today. Just yesterday, I had a little success with Amazon merch. So I'm in the 510 slot on Amazon merch, which means I have the ability to have 500 designs on merch, but I can only upload 10 a day, which is actually really good because a lot of people can only upload 2 a day, and they might be in a much lower tier. You start off, I think, with 5 shirts, and then you go to 10, and then you go to 25, 50, 100. And then I think there might be a 250 tier or a 125 tier. I'm not sure, but I got bumped up from 100 to 500. Anyways, in the nitty gritty of it is that I have a designer that I hired off Fiverr to make designs for me. I use Merch Informer software to help me figure out what designs and what keywords to use, trending designs. And then I put those designs into a Google spreadsheets, and my designer makes better versions of them for me. I'm paying $4 a design. So currently I have 45 or 55, something like that. We'll just say 50 designs loaded on my Amazon merch account. And then just today I sold 5 shirts, or maybe it was yesterday or today. Anyways, and then I sold 5 more today. So I can really start to see the pattern of how you can make really good money with Amazon merch. Because imagine that I sold, if you sell a shirt for $19.99, which is what I was selling some of my shirts for, you're going to make like $7 a shirt on a standard shirt. And so if you sell 5 shirts for $7 at $19.99, that's $35. And I only have 55 designs listed. So if I had my full 500 filled up, which is like 9 times more slots or whatever, that would be, 9 times the amount of income. And so you could really see how, and then times that by 30 per day, and then times that, by 12 months or whatever. And you could really see how easily that it could become, a $75,000 a year take home business with Amazon merch. And the cool thing is, if you're only paying $4 a design and you have 500 designs, that's like $2,000 to have 500 designs. So that's a $2,000 flat rate expense or investment in your Amazon merch business. And it could produce $70,000 or more a year in returns. And you don't have to have inventory or employees or customer service or anything like that. So it's kind of bananas, guys. That might be like 5 to 10 times less money than I would have to invest in books to get the same return. So I'm really, really excited about Amazon merch, and I'm super excited to start pumping and getting my 10 designs uploaded a day because I was slacking. But this is just like the turning point for me. This is the time where I see the light, like firmly see the light, and realize, wow, like this could easily be a $70,000 a year take-home pre-tax business. And you could do it from anywhere in the world, traveling with only a couple hours a day, maybe 1 hour a day to find your 10 or 20 designs and then send them to your designer, and another hour of uploading designs a day. Or you could even outsource someone to upload those designs for you. And now some people are in the 2,500 tier. So imagine that you're doing 5 times as many designs. It still only costs you 10 grand for 2,500 designs, but you're now running a business that could produce $300,000 of pre-tax revenue with only a $10,000 cost. Like, that's insane. There's not a lot of stuff like that that are going to make you that kind of money. And so that's where I'm at with Amazon merch. I got chocolate all over my fingers. Hold on a second. Probably shouldn't eat food while I'm live streaming, but I got all these London chocolate treats left over from the Americans Eat British Snacks video that we made last night. So I got to eat it. I can't let it go bad. Let's see if we got any more questions in here. We got Man Warsama in here. Sorry if I said your name wrong, but I'm happy to have you here. Quentin McCarroll, what's up, man? How you doing? Miggity Mike, what's up, guys? What's up, Lauren Wilcock? A lot of you guys are saying no luck getting on Amazon merch. You just got to wait. Unfortunately, there's no rhyme or recipe to it. We don't know when they approve people or how they do it. I think they do it in waves. So, like, you'll often hear a large amount of people saying they just got approved at one time, but you just have to wait it out. And there's different things that happen. Like last year, they ran out of white t-shirts during fourth quarter. So, or they blocked people out. They blocked uploads entirely for a while because they didn't have enough shirts or whatever to meet the demand. So it's important to fill up your design slots when you can. Let's see. Megan says, what are the main things you need as a beginner to start your business with Amazon? I feel like there's so much out there that it can get overwhelming. So you're exactly right. It can. You're going to need a laptop for sure and a printer so that you can print your shipping labels to Amazon or your packing slips, depending on if you're doing merchant fulfilled or fulfilled by Amazon. You're going to need a shipping scale. If you're doing merchant fulfilled, you only need like a 10-pound or less scale. If you're doing FBA fulfilled by Amazon, you're going to need like a 100-pound capacity scale. There's just 2 different ways you can do Amazon: merch, where you hold it yourself, or FBA, where you mail it to them. And you have to decide which one you want to do, which one works best for you. Or maybe you're going to do a hybrid setup. You're going to do Amazon merch and fulfilled by Amazon. You should have a Bluetooth scanner to scan barcodes if you're doing Amazon, so you can understand quickly if something's worth money or not. You're going to need an app on your phone to figure that out. But before you go investing in a scanner or an app, which all the good apps cost money, monthly subscriptions, you should get very familiar with the Amazon Seller app, which allows you to scan barcodes using your phone's camera, and you can see what it's worth, and you can make money solely using that. It's just not very fast at all. And there's a lot of nuances to it. I obviously sell mostly books, shoes, a little bit of grocery, and now Amazon merch. But you could do private label, you could do wholesale. I'm not entirely knowledgeable about all those things, but you need to figure out what works best for you, time-wise, investment-wise. Maybe you live somewhere where there's not a lot of books because there's no colleges, or the literacy rate is low. People don't buy books where you're at, you know? So there's a lot of factors, and some of them are geographical, and you have to figure out which ones work best for you in your business. Thank you so much for that chat. For the tip from the Raleigh book guy. Super appreciative of that, man. Awesome. You're getting a pin, dude. Send me an email, reezyresells@gmail.com. I don't have a notepad right now, or I would write a note to remind myself. But you're getting a pin at the very least. The water bottles should be coming in soon. We're going to see if we can get you one of those too. But that's a really long-winded question, Megan. I did a spaz recently, basically about everything you need to know to sell on Amazon. That video is available at, I believe it's tr.im/sellbooks. So if someone wants to write that in the chat, feel free to do it. It should, or let me see if I can type it out. I don't know. I think if admins type stuff, it's linkable. Let me try it for you guys real quick. tr.im/sell books. Oops. Apparently I can't put all my wwws when I'm live. All right, that might work for you. But I'm going to go on to some more stuff. That video has everything you need to know in it for sure. If you have more specific questions, I could answer them. But that is like a super a big question. Maybe I could make a short video about like what do you need like supply wise to get started on Amazon. You don't need too much. I mean, you could theoretically you could print your labels at Kinko's or FedEx or whatever and not, and tape them on, so you could definitely bootstrap it. Let's see. Whoops, I just skipped a bunch of questions. Let me go up. If I missed some questions and you're an admin on this chat, please copy and paste those down below so that I can get at them easier, because what happens is I'm searching for a question and then someone comments and it pops the live chat down and then I missed it. Okay, Quentin came with a good one. Quentin McCarroll says, how do you hire your employees? So there's a few ways that I have hired employees or that I would recommend hiring employees, maybe like 3 or 4 ways. So the number one way that I recommend hiring employees is friends and family that you know and trust. And I don't mean just like the average friend. I mean like someone that loves you and cares about you, and they also need money and are interested in making some money. A lot of people say don't hire friends or family, blah, blah, blah. I totally disagree. I feel like no one is going to care about your business as much as you do, but a good friend or a family member is like the next best thing. They would tell you if someone was stealing or whatever. But in lieu of friends or family members that you can hire, you could hire trustworthy people like moms and dads. Generally, people that have kids are somewhat trustworthy, if you know kids that play sports, you need some part-time work, help processing inventory in your garage or warehouse or storage unit or whatever. Maybe some kids that play sports, they have really good work ethic because they go to practice all the time, etc. And maybe they need some extra bucks. Bring them on the squad. If you really need like a full-time employee, like an adult that's going to be able to work 40 hours a week, you could go Craigslist, but I do not recommend it. It's really like subpar quality of employees that you're going to get off Craigslist. I had much better luck searching for employees off of Indeed.com, Indeed.com. I'm not sure. I think it costs money to post a job on Indeed, but it's totally worth it. The other thing is that maybe you see someone in your day-to-day life that is just a really hard worker and a good employee at another business, and you can poach them from that business and bring them over to work for you. Maybe they are a cashier or a bagger at the grocery store or whatever, like something super mundane, and that you could pay them the same or more and teach them a little bit or let them have a better work experience. So those are a few of the ways that I would recommend hiring people. Obviously, you have to interview people. And the thing is, interviewing is kind of difficult. So we got a call coming in here from Kenley, North Carolina. Hold on a second. Remind me about the interviewing question. You're live on Money Talks with Reezy Resells. Who's this?
Hey, Reezy, this is Calvin. What's up, man?
What up, Calvin? How are you, man?
Hey, I'm doing awesome, bro. I'll shoot to my question. So we're getting into this book game, and basically I want to know what kind of yield should we look for as we're trying to scan our books and I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the word.
Profit return.
That's it. Source our books and stuff.
Right. Okay. So when you're obviously it depends on the price that you're paying, right? And because sometimes you get books you could get books for free or a quarter or 10 cents or whatever. And sometimes you have to pay $4 or maybe even $25 a book to get a certain textbook or whatever. Obviously, besides your own personal margins that you want, whatever's within your personal business model, I would say that if you're going to buy a book for $1, that's only going to bring you back your original dollar plus another dollar of profit. you want to make sure that it's going to sell very fast. So have a good, solid, steady sales rank. And then anything that's going to take any bit longer, you want to make sure that you're going to make, a couple bucks more, and so on and so on. So if it's going to take 6 months to sell, you want to make sure you'll make about maybe $4 or so. That's a general safe rate. So like, let's say 8, 9, 10. So like $11 FBA sale will generate about $4 of payout. That'll be like $4 and change. So if you paid $1 for that, that would pay out about $3 and change. Maybe go even one higher, go to like $12 FBA. That way it pays out $4 and change. So after you take out your dollar that you put in, that you're going to still have $3 and change left, and then you spent maybe 25 to 50 cents to get it into FBA. And it all just comes down to what are you paying for it too, so if you're paying people to process inventory for you other than yourself, you might want to build that into the cost. So if you pay someone $10 an hour, how many books do they process in an hour? That's how much it costs you to process a book, right? Plus the shipping of the inbound shipping. So then maybe add that into there. But just be hyper aware of the fact that sending in low margin books, it's really tempting. But we all know that Amazon never stays the same. Nothing ever stays the same in business. But with Amazon, it's really true. Like the fees change very often. So like you just want to make sure that you have margin, meat on the bone to deal with maybe a fee increase or something like that. So I wouldn't recommend sending in books over like 500,000 rank if you're only going to make $1 or so and you had to send it in and it cost you like $1 when it was said and done to get in. Because that's it's a pretty risky dice roll. I mean, one is not really risky, but if you have 20,000, all of a sudden it becomes a problem, right?
I gotcha.
So like right now, everybody knows long-term storage fee just went down. Everyone just got charged. And I just paid, I think, $14,000 of long-term storage fees. That's abnormally high. Now it was going to be like 21,000, but we sold some stuff and we threw some stuff away. But, it shouldn't be that high, but because a lot of the stuff that I've sent in is 1 year old, 2 years old, it's from when the game was different, when the fees were less, So that's one thing I wish I would have realized a couple years ago, is that because Amazon is constantly increasing their prices, you might want to leave a little bit more meat on the bone for the books that are going to take longer to sell.
Sure. That makes sense, man. I really appreciate you taking my call and everything. So keep doing what you're doing, man. You're an encouragement, all right?
Awesome, man. Have a good day, bro. Thanks for calling in.
You too, brother.
Bye. Yeah, man, that's crazy out here in these Amazon FBA fee streets. So yeah, back to the interviewing thing is, when you interview people, I initially conducted interviews very poorly. I asked like these super basic questions. Like I never had like a legit job that paid me a good amount of money. Like I worked at a skate shop last and I didn't have an interview for that job, right? And so before that, I only worked as like a cashier and like random other stuff where the questions are super lame. But when you're hiring someone to work in your business that you have to trust, it's not so much like these cookie cutter questions. You want to ask questions that are like open-ended and leave them room to talk, because you really don't care about the answer of the question as much as you care about an opportunity to hear them speak and kind of gauge what kind of person they are. And so, and don't like read into like skills and this or that so much. I'd say the most valuable thing on a resume is like the length of time that they held their previous jobs. Because that shows, commitment and dedication, like they're going to actually show up. But aside from that, don't hire for skills, because you can train people for skills. Hire for the things that, like the things and values that like their parents taught them. Are they kind? Are they honest? Are they loyal? Are they a hard worker? Those kind of things. Because you can teach them everything else. So just don't get caught up too much in super basic stuff, because you'll find out that that's not going to give you a good quality employee. Let's see if we got a couple more questions. We're going into the YouTube. Let's see. Any courses do you recommend to start with books? I just started FBA a week ago in RA, but I can't see it scaling. Yeah. So there's really only one Amazon course that I recommend at the moment, and it's by Jim Pickens. It's about it's a book course. You can find that at scanthatshit.com. Scanthatshit.com, literally. And it's about books, and it's geared towards beginners or intermediate sellers, but it pretty much covers the whole gamut of book selling, which in my opinion, if you learn Amazon with books, you're going to understand Amazon in general really well, and you'll be able to go anywhere with that knowledge within the Amazon ecosystem. And the fact that it's books is one of the cheapest ways to learn how Amazon works. Like if you make a mistake with books, you just throw them away. It's not a big deal. If you make a mistake with a wholesale order or a bunch of private label, now you have to focus on liquidating it because you spent, $500 on this order or whatever, maybe $5,000 on an order. You never know. So books are a great way to learn Amazon. It's the cheapest way to learn Amazon, in my opinion. And if you want to purchase a course, check out Jim's course at scanthatshit.com. The thing about it is that, yeah, it's $100 course. I think it should be a couple hundred at least. It's well worth it. But yes, all the information that's in that course is available for free on YouTube and through Google and Facebook groups or whatever. And it's probably all available within my content as well. But it's not concisely organized like 1, 2, 3, 4 to 10 with videos that go along with each one. It's going to save you a ton of time to take a well-constructed course. So you have to ask yourself, what is your time worth? Is that something that you're into? If you have a bunch of free time and you have no money, then utilize the asset that you have, which is the free time, and dig all that information out. If you don't have that much free time, but you have $100 to spare, maybe take the course and accelerate your learning curve, right? So it just depends. Upscale Sales says, where's Posh Hanger? I have no idea. That's why I like to have a handful of admins. That way I try to get a couple people in here at a time. Let's see. What software do you use to manage your inventory? So we use, what do we use? Jesus. We use Inventory Lab, and also we use our own SKU system. So we have detailed SKUs that allow us to, we can export our SKUs from Amazon into spreadsheets and do different stuff with them that you couldn't do inside of Amazon. And then we also use Inventory Labs, but we don't really use Inventory Labs too much. It's more like when I want to know how many pairs of shoes do we have in stock, I'll go on Inventory Labs, or how much stuff do we have in stock that came from Marshalls and how much did we spend on it? Those kind of things. Inventory Lab can answer those questions, but not so much inventory management going on. Amazon does a lot of it for us. Panda Rose says, I'm watching and driving and I still hit the like button. Way to go, man. You're multi-talented there. Purple Haze says, do you know when the deadline to complete a sale is so that you qualify to sell in Q4? I have no idea, but you should sign up for FBA and send in some inventory right now, because if you're FBA, you can sell through Q4. Definitely. And I know that you also have to have sold a specified, not a specified amount, but like you have to have some proven track record in the toys and games category for Amazon to allow you to sell in the toys and games category over the holidays, because they want to maintain a good customer experience. Let's see. Just went pro seller. Nicholas Virch says, just went pro seller and tried listing DVDs on Amazon, and I was restricted to sell them as I need an invoice I got at a library sale. How do you go about getting approved? Getting approved for DVDs is very hard. I don't see a lot of people that are approved to sell DVDs. So, and there's 2 levels of approval for DVDs. I have level 1 approval. I can sell DVDs, but I can't sell the ones that are over $25 MSRP. That means all the season sets, I can't sell those. So, and I really only know like 2 or 3 people that are still grandfathered in that can sell the DVDs, the over 25 MSRP ones. And I don't know of anyone actually getting approved. Maybe one person, I'm not sure, and they're not spilling the beans on how they got approved. But you can still sell all that stuff on eBay. You can sell them to a local CD buyback store like FYE or whatever. You can go to Declutter or different sites like that and sell your media back. So it's definitely a bummer that you can't sell it on Amazon, but don't leave it behind when you scan it, and it's worth money. One of the major tips that I give to people at library sales is if you're there on bag sale day, when the door opens, just rush the DVDs and CDs and bag them all up. Don't even scan them, just bag them all up. Trust me, you'll make your money back selling on eBay, selling locally, selling to the record store, selling to Declutter. You'll way more than make your money back, and it's just too cheap when you can get a whole bag of media for $5. Megan says, where would you find someone to do your design? So you can get them, you can find designers online at a bunch of places. I found mine on Fiverr.com. There's also Upwork.com. There's also onlinejobs.ph, which is a really nice site to get VAs. It costs money, so you have to pay like the 3-month trial just to get into the network. But then you'll get your designers out of there. And then once you have a designer, you can retain them outside of the platform, so you wouldn't need to be subscribed anymore. But definitely something that you want to look into is outsourcing people to do your designs for you. So that way you can focus on coming up with ideas and then actually have the 10 designs ready to go, or however many fit your slots or needs. Let's see. How impressive was Watch Me Amazon's operation? It was, I don't know if impressive is the word. I mean, I'm really just impressed with the dude's work ethic, because literally he does so well. And I feel like all he does is just keep grinding it out. You know, he just puts his head down to the grinder and just grinds. Like if you watch his stories or his content, you know, that's all he does, right? He's just looking for new wholesale items every single day, nonstop, catalog after catalog after catalog. Like literally watch my interview that I did with him. And that's pretty much everything, guys. There's not a ton of information. There's no secret sauce as per usual. Hard work is the secret sauce. But I mean, to me, the most impressive part was the numbers, of course, but the fact that he's running it in Brooklyn, which is the first or second most expensive place in the entire United States to live. And he does wholesale, which means he orders the products to his warehouse, which means any of you guys could also do wholesale, ordering products to your warehouse. And some of you guys live in areas in the middle of America where you can buy a house for under $100,000. So you actually have an advantage over people like me and him that live on the coast and have to pay basically $1 million for a house that you could get for $100,000. So your overhead is much, much less. But I didn't get to meet his employees at all or anything, but he has a nice warehouse with plenty of space, and they have inventory constantly coming in and going out. So it's pretty impressive. I didn't get to see a lot of, like I see more of the work being done on his social media than when I was there. When I was there, it was after hours. It was a ghost town. It was him and his partner that were there. And we were just shooting the shit, talking numbers. We did the YouTube live. We went and had some pizza, etc. But it's a nice business. And if you do what he does, which is you keep getting inventory in and you keep shipping it out, apparently you make a lot of money. So mostly impressed with his work ethic. Anybody can get it, and he's getting it. Let's see. I'm thinking Icon Longton V. I'm sorry, I'm just messing names up today, left and right. I'm thinking of having someone help me scan in a different area. Do you recommend a percentage or $15 plus per hour? I don't recommend a percentage. I recommend actually paying someone like a flat rate, like $2 per book that they find that meets your criteria, and set them up on a scanner in hidden mode, which means you have to use which means you have to use triggers, which also means you're going to be missing out on some profit. But that's the way you got to do it if you're going to have it like that. If it's someone that you really trust and they're running a route that you set up, you can have them work hourly. That's the way that I do it. It's just a little different, but you could also have 10 different people working for you, gathering books for you, paying them $2 per book that they find that meets your criteria. And they wouldn't know what the prices were or anything. They would just be bringing you boxes of books, and it'd be a good way for people to make extra money on the side that have spare time. But of course, it's dependent on them having access to a supply. Different strokes for different folks. You got to find out what works for you and for your situation. But I can say for certain that if you're going to do hourly, make sure that you train them well and that you develop the routes and you take them with you. That way, you know you're getting your money's worth as far as the efficiency of the route, where they're going, etc. Our library sales says no scanners allowed. What? Yeah, unfortunately, that happens sometimes. And it's actually pretty terrible because the library sales are conducted by an organization called the Friends of the Library. Now, the mission statement of the Friends of the Library is to raise money for the library, because if you know libraries, they are in hurt for funds. They need money. They have an endless list of things they need to spend money on and not enough money to get it all. It's really sad. I actually really love libraries. So when libraries say no scanners allowed, it's really sad because it means they're going to make a lot less money at the library sale, because when the sale's over, they're just donating everything to the Goodwill or the Salvation Army, and then we're going there and buying it for pennies on the dollar. So if this is happening at your library, I highly recommend that you reach out to the president of the library, not the Friends of the Library, the actual library, and just let them know your situation, that you're a bookseller and you would love to buy many, many, many books at the book sale and support the library in this way, but that the Friends of the Library is not allowing you to scan books at the sale. And oftentimes the library is not in the know with how the Friends of the Library is operating, but they supersede the Friends of the Library. So the president could feel your pain and be like, okay, let's fix this, and then talk to them and then get the policy changed. I've had it happen many, many times, because not allowing scanners is going to basically like not allowing money to be donated to the library, and the library doesn't like that. So make sure that you run it across the president of the Friends of the Library so that you can see if you can get that changed. Your other options are maybe to just blind buy the books on the bag day, knowing that if no scanners have been there, there's probably a lot of good books. You could try and be sneaky about it and have a scanner like sneaky status or something. In the future, Scout IQ is going to have Apple Watch integration, so you'll be able to hold your scanner in your hand and just get your alerts or see the data on your watch screen, which, you know, you could possibly say you're not scanning books like that. No one would know. I mean, they also say if they say no scanners, take your phone in and type in all the barcodes. You know, technically you're not scanning and you don't have a scanner. You're typing in barcodes or ISBNs into your app. So technically that's not scanning and you don't have a laser beam. So that should be okay. Also, you might contact them at the end of the sale and try and buy all of the books that were unsold, because usually what happens is they donate them for free to the Salvation Army, to the Goodwill. And if you were to offer them 4 cents a pound, 2 cents a pound, whatever, don't go too high, because there's going to be a lot of duds. Maybe you could walk away with a good bounty like that, especially since they didn't allow any scanners there. In my opinion, or in my, what are you going to call it? In my history or my experience, libraries that say no scanners allowed, they run like that for like a year or 2 years, and then when they see their returns from their sales dropped astronomically low, they allow the scanners to come back. Let's see. Quentin McCarroll says, question, where do you get your shipping supplies from? So we order our tape from royalmailers.com when they have it in stock. Otherwise, we just get it wherever we can for cheap. Pay attention to the amount of tape per roll. Like what amount are you paying per yard of tape, right? And how thick is the tape millimeter wise? Don't get the bougie tape that's just going to rip sideways when you try to use it. And then boxes, we get boxes from Home Depot. You can get boxes for free from the trash, but sometimes you'll go out, you'll need boxes, you'll go out to find them, and you can't find them, right? So that sucks. Or even just having to leave the work area to go get boxes, and worst case scenario, I actually got a ticket once for stealing boxes out of a recycling bin, even though I had the permission of the owner. Some super Dudley Do-Right police officer gave me a ticket for stealing cardboard out of a recycling bin. Anyways, which I'm essentially recycling it anyways, so the stupidest thing ever. But I advise people to buy boxes because that's the least of your worries. Let's see. 19 Sales says, Reezy, getting started, the only way to compete with books is FBA, right? I can't see you winning without it, so you have to suck up the cost. Not entirely true. Obviously, you're going to make more sales as an FBA seller, and it does look better to the customer, especially when you hear these statistics like 90% of Amazon sellers have only purchased things that were fulfilled by Amazon. Now, I tend to think that book buyers are different than the average Amazon customer, and they're more savvy. Like, people who read books are smart for the most part, unless they're just students buying what they need for their class. They're generally smart, they read, they're educated, and they're more price conservative. They shop around a little bit, so they're digging around for better deals more than the average person. So I believe that book buyers probably click the buy box less than the average Amazon customer. So you can still make good money with merchant fulfilled. And the thing is, with Amazon increasing the fees more so and more so, merchant fulfilled is becoming more attractive for books that are like under $15 because you make an extra couple bucks every time you ship an order with a merchant fulfilled order. Especially because when you ship a decent volume, you can get a discounted postal rate. It's called bound printed matter. That's a discounted postal rate. It's the cheapest that you're going to get it. And that allows you to compete with all the big guys. No one gets a cheaper rate than that. That's the cheapest postal rate you're going to get, bound printed matter. You have to have a certain amount of pieces per day to achieve that. Go talk to your local post office and ask them what the requirements are so that you can set it up. But if you have the space to store the books for merchant fulfilled and you have the manpower to sit there and wrap, 100 books a day or whatever, it could be worth it for you, because if you're wrapping 100 books a day, you're saving $200 right there. That's definitely enough to pay the person who's wrapping the 100 books a day and have more money left over for you. And I'm sure you guys noticed that if you've been in the game for long enough, you now scan books and you go, dang, like I can't make any money on this. Really? It's like a $10 book, but because of the weight, because of the fees and the size of the media category, you're not going to profit. So it makes merchant fulfilled much more attractive. Bobby Moon says, when it says live pending removal, days remaining 16, and you get no sales, does that design get deleted and you can upload it again? Yes, it does get removed after a certain period of time, and you can upload it again. Let me go back and find these questions. What's up, Alexander Ye in the house, the youngest moderator on the block? Yeah, Larry did say he was Larry. That's Watch Me Amazon. He does wholesale. Check him out on Instagram at Watch Me Amazon. His name is Larry. He crushes it in wholesale. We were talking about him earlier, and he did just get a nice camera. Someone I know tipped him off to some good cameras, and he's going to be making some YouTube videos pretty soon, which I'm very excited for. Let's go down here. Let's see. How often does Gumroad update for the KDC 200i? Yeah, sorry about that right now, guys. The whole planet has a shortage of KDC scanners currently at the moment. But I should be getting some more in stock soon. I have a handful. I actually have 6 Bluetooth scanners for sale here in a minute. I just got them from eBay recently. I purchased a decent sized lot deal that I saw come up, and I tested them out, and I ordered some brand new USB cables today. So they should be here in a day or two. And then if you guys follow me on Instagram, that's where I'm going to post up, the advert that I have, 6 scanners, 5 or 6 scanners for sale. A couple people have contacted me already on DM saying to reserve one for them. So I have, but yeah, I would have had 10, but some of them were busted and they're getting returned. So I'm trying to keep up with the scanner droughtage. shortage. But it's hard. It's hard. Quentin McCarroll says, what's the average sales rank to look for? So sales rank is not static. It changes all the time, Quentin. So that's a question that's generally frowned upon. But what you want to do is you just want to make sure that whatever your sales rank is, that the return that's going to come is worth it. So a rough rule of thumb is like if it's over $1 million, it should pay out $10. If it's over 2 million, it should pay out $20. If it's over 3 million, $30, and so on. I have personally sold a book that was in the 7 million rank, and I have heard of people selling books into, 14 million rank, even though it's really rare. You just need to make sure that it's worth it for how long it's going to possibly take to sell, and that's going to be based off the sales rank history. Let's see. Upscale Sales said, I would recommend hiring out-of-towners to expand your operation. Definitely. That's a good tip. You can only go so far. So Bobby Moon says, do you use a trending aggregator when making a new merch design? So I use Merch Informer software, which after this video ends, I'll put my affiliate link down there for you guys. I don't think it's in there, but it's just a software that helps you quickly do searches for Amazon merch shirts by keyword. And then you can see what the estimated sales are on each ones. And you could use other things in conjunction with that to help you find the designs that you want to make. Let's see. Bobby Moons with the dollar store books, brand new tip. Definitely, guys. I bought some books at the Dollar Tree, I believe. And it's really weird. They just get random boxes of brand new books, and sometimes you can sell them for money, usually the hardback ones. Let's see. Got any more questions? Oh, I already did the interview topic. Let's see. Let's see. Should be 1,000 kids selling private label courses that are less info than on YouTube. For 700. Don't know what you guys are talking about right there. There's a big C that appears once in a while when scanning an FBA scan under the FBA prices. Couldn't find an answer. What does it mean? It means collectible. Let's see. Average profit per shoe from Marshalls. It's going to be a minimum of $20, Bobby. Minimum of $20 profit per shoe at a average of a $40 buy cost. So it's expensive, and the ROI is nothing like books, but the dollars per unit sold is much more on average. Let's see, where's the Coogee? So it's too hot to wear it in this room. I'm basically in Harry Potter's bedroom. So this house that we're staying at right now, the house that we're in right now that we live in, it's a 2-bedroom, but they framed in the upper part of the garage and made like an office. And that's where I'm broadcasting from right now. And it's extremely hot up here, even with the ceiling windows open. Let's see. Who do you recommend following for tips and tricks? So let's see. I don't follow too many people on YouTube. I just don't have that kind of time. On podcasts, I love to listen to Gary Vee, of course. That's more like motivation and inspiration. But on Instagram, let's see, like for books, I don't follow anybody for books really. You got like Watch Me Amazon, you got Hustle Bee. I'm really interested in learning clothing on eBay because I see it as an untapped market, just like how books are. A lot of people look at books and they're like, oh, they're not sexy, meaning like it's not a fun business to be in or whatever. They're kind of overlooked. And obviously clothing doesn't have barcodes, so you can't scan it as much, used clothing anyways. So I look at The Posh Hanger on Instagram or State's Place or there's just so many people, guys. Once you get in the mix on Instagram, you'll find a lot of people out there. Wholesale, what course do you recommend? Bang for buck? Nothing. They're so expensive and overpriced. Like that $2,000 course that you hear people talk about a lot because they spend a lot of money on advertising is basically crap. I've talked to maybe 10 people that have taken that course, and literally people tell me like, it's not worth it. The only thing I learned is this, like one sentence, the lamest thing ever. So, watch me Amazon. Larry said he's going to make a wholesale course, and I believe that will probably end up being the best wholesale course to date. Let's see. If someone knows basically nothing about selling on Amazon, which one of your videos would you recommend them for start with? It's called How to Sell Books. That's the best video for you to watch if you're starting out. That I believe I have a link in my Instagram bio for that, or even in the comments so far in the live chat. If you scroll up, the URL for that video is tr.im/sellbooks. It basically has everything you're going to need to know. The Raleigh book guy says, hit the like button, y'all. I'm going to say it too. Hit the like button, y'all. If you can't scan through his videos and find out, maybe wrong biz. Hey guys, not everybody has a lot of time, right? So everyone has different amounts of time. Some people are going to be listening to this on podcasts. So if you're listening to this on the podcast, you should try tuning into YouTube Monday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because you can ask your questions to me live. And it's kind of like in its own ecosystem. The live chat, which doesn't stay on the video after the live video ends and is posted to YouTube, the live chat disappears, and then the comments start fresh on the video. And there's literally like hundreds, if not 1,000 or more comments in the live chat every Monday. It's like a hangout. A lot of people are kicking it. Let's see. Who else do we got in here? We got Juice Addict. They can at least allow scanners on the second day. Yeah, right. Definitely wish they would, right? How many books do you guys usually buy in one trip to your local thrift? It depends on how many books do they have out that day. It definitely depends, but you want to get, a few bags of books a day if you want to maintain a good income. So maybe like try and get like 100 books a day. That would be a good number to shoot for. We got a call coming in from Stone Mountain, Georgia. You're live on Reezy Talks with Reezy Resells. Who's this?
That would be a good number to shoot for. Hello?
Hello. How's it going?
Yes. It's going good, thank you. My name.
Pause your YouTube. Pause your YouTube real quick. Help us out.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you.
How can I help you?
My name is Megan Flavius. And I have a few questions, but I'll try to be quick.
Yeah, let's do it.
So after, because it is very overwhelming.
Yeah.
All the information. So I'm kind of get the going out and sourcing.
Mm-hmm.
But what I am kind of confused about is, once let's say you go out and you buy your books, and once you come home, what are the next steps?
Okay,
like,
so I got a good answer. I got a great answer for that question. So the gist of it is that you have to scan them into your Amazon account and get them listed. And then depending on if you're going to keep them at home and sell them or ship them to FBA, if you're keeping them at home, you're pretty much done. You just put them on the shelf and wait for them to sell. Of course, after you price them to sell. If you're sending them off to FBA, you put them in a box, put a sticker over the barcode, and weigh the box and ship it off. That's the rough description. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to Google and type Amazon tutorials for FBA. And Amazon themselves has a bunch of training videos that they've made that cover all of the really basic stuff.
Okay, so for example, so like the printing up, because I'm planning on doing FBA.
Okay.
So for the printing of the labels, that software or whatever is already on Amazon.
Yeah, it comes in. I mean,
okay.
It's not a software. You can use a software to list books, but you can also just list them one at a time on Amazon itself, which is what I recommend for when you're starting out. You should know how to list it on Amazon. And then once you realize how it works and you're like, man, this is taking forever, then you can look into using a software to help you list them faster.
Okay, and then from there you can print out the labels.
Yep, you get the labels printed out, which go on the items, not just books. And then you put those in a box and you ship it off to where Amazon says you have to ship it off to, and they give you the shipping label and they deduct the shipping cost out of your account. So every time you send off a box to Amazon, you're actually losing a little bit of money in postage cost. And then once your items arrive and go live and start selling, you'll make that money back and then some.
Okay, so do you advise, like, for someone that's new to do FBA?
So I recommend that you should do merchant fulfilled at first until you understand how it works. Maybe do your first 50 sales or more merchant fulfilled, so you understand the system and how it works. And the reason why I say that is because if you make a big mistake and it's merchant fulfilled, you can just cancel the books and then, delete them and then relist them and get it right, or throw the books away or whatever. If you make a mistake and it's FBA, then you have to either pay to have those books sent back to you or pay to have them destroyed. And it's just a lot more stress. There's certain things you can't do to a book once you've sent it off to Amazon's warehouse, where if it's in your own warehouse, you can do a lot more stuff with it.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, hopefully I can do this, because I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I have 2 kids, and my husband is out of town for months at a time.
I know you can do it. I know you can do it. It's a lot easier than being a mom. Trust me.
Yeah.
Being a mom is the hardest job on the planet, and I know this because my wife is pretty amazing. But do you have Instagram?
I do. Yeah.
Okay, so
I was talking to you earlier.
Okay, yeah. Megan, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I remember. Follow Hustle at Home Mom. I don't know if you follow her. Okay, great. Well, there you go. She's like super hustler, and she has I think she has 3 kids.
She's amazing.
Yeah. So I know you can do it. So just have faith in yourself and keep that pressure on your mentality that you want to do it and you want to succeed, and that's what's going to get you there.
Yeah, well, I really thank you, for doing all of this.
Yeah, no worries.
It's really motivating. So
yeah.
So thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, but just don't do me dirty. Make sure you take action.
Oh, I'm not gonna do dirty. Really, I have been through so much that I feel like this is an answer for me. So
awesome. I'm glad I could help you and inspire you, and so I just can't wait to see you succeeding. So make sure you start posting up on Instagram, or message me if you need some help or whatever, and we'll help you out.
Okay, well, thank you.
All right, thanks for calling in, Megan. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Awesome. I'm so hyped, man. That's what I live for right there. People that they didn't know what they could do, and they found me, and I gave them some inspiration and some information, and now they're ready to add the perspiration and then just get to work. I just can't wait. Can't wait to see that person in a few months, like, succeeding. And like, look, I just started, like, I can't explain it, guys, but that's just the best feeling in the world right there. How many books got destroyed in Texas? Oh my God, I was thinking the same thing, man. I was thinking the exact same thing, that there's a lot of thrift stores full of water right now. Let's see, what size boxes at Home Depot? It's going to be for books, it's going to be small or medium. If you're doing a lot of textbooks, you're going to need more small boxes, because you'll basically, when you fill a small box with textbooks, it's roughly like 50 pounds. And the medium boxes are good too. You can get away with using just small boxes. When you use medium boxes, you'll be cutting them down a little bit, cutting the corners up, slicing them up, and folding it over. But medium or small is going to get the job done. If you're selling shoes, you're going to want to check out the large boxes, because you can get like 20 pairs in there. Coal City Loot, this is real life. You can call me. It's 209-83 Reezy. Let's see. Question, did you have a mentor that helped you? No. Unfortunately, no, not in selling. I learned to sell stuff because I never wanted to go home. I had a bad home life and I needed money, and also grew up really poor, so where I could never ask for money. But when I started selling, there was no mentors. There was no books written about how to sell books. YouTube wasn't out yet. The iPhone didn't exist. There was nothing. There was no information about how to sell books. So I found out how to do it basically by making every single possible mistake you could make. But I used to like write down ISBNs, then go home and look them up, or go to the library and look them up, or have someone at home on a computer and then call them from a payphone, because this was basically pre-cell phones, and have them look it up for me and let me know. That's called having a rabbit, I believe is what we called it, when you had someone on the other end of a phone waiting for you, like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, phone a friend. Quentin says, what's your new business ventures you're working on? Mostly just Amazon merch is my main thing that me and my business partner are working on business wise. Obviously, personally, I'm doing the Reezy Resells thing in the YouTube. That provides me a lot of fulfillment. Selling stuff doesn't necessarily fulfill me or make me happy. That's just money that I need to pay bills and stuff. It gives me freedom and opportunity. But with that freedom and opportunity, I like to do stuff that I like doing, which is like speaking and helping people, and making videos. I really love making videos, definitely. Someone said they got lucky and found a KDC scanner for $55. Yeah, you got lucky. There's not a lot of them out there. Tim Hatfield says, what's up, Reezy? I bought everything. I need to know how to sort all of the books out. Check out Amazon's own training videos that they got. There's a lot of stuff in there. And also, I have a video on my channel that my business partner made that's actually called How to Do an Amazon FBA Shipment, like full process beginning to end or whatever. And it shows you the way that we do a full shipment, the way that we stack the books and sort them, etc. That's very useful. Minor Contreras says, can you explain the differences between FBA Amazon versus eBay? Yeah. On eBay, you're storing stuff at your house and you ship it to the customers every time. If you have 10 things and one item sells a day, once a day, you got to stop what you're doing and go get that item and package it and mail it off. Whereas with Amazon FBA, you ship everything off to Amazon's warehouse in one go. So you're batching your time. And then when it sells, they ship it to the customer and you don't have to stop what you're doing. You can focus on finding and shipping inventory into their warehouse, and they handle the customer orders. How many books do you normally send per shipment? We aim for at least 1,000 books per shipment. We try to do pallets as much as possible. Larry Hughes says, what scanner do you recommend? I recommend the KDC 200i just because it's a little cheaper, or the Opticon 2002 or 2006. Both are pretty comparable. The Opticon is a brighter laser and better construction. It's going to be more durable. It's going to last longer. But generally, the Opticon costs a little bit more usually. So the KDC is a good budget option. Let's see. Ray Reeves says, do you have a video on long-term storage fees? It must be rather important with an inventory of your size. No, I don't have a video on it. But basically, if when time comes for Amazon long-term storage fees, you want to download your inventory health report, which you can find that under reports, fulfillment reports in your Seller Central account. And then you want to go through there and sort everything. You're probably going to make a couple different tabs, and you got to adjust your pricing and destroy or have things recalled to your house to do different things that you want. So if you have a bunch of CDs or DVDs that recently went restricted, maybe you do what I do and you had them sent back to you so that you could send them to declutter, or different things. You destroy stuff, you price stuff down really quickly to the lowest price. It's all depending on what your own. There's not an answer that I can give you that's going to fit your business model. You have to examine the situation yourself. What kind of return? What's the potential long-term storage fees? But you're going to want to get that done maybe about 5 days prior to the long-term storage fee being charged at a minimum. That way you're just ahead of the game. Sometimes you'll have trouble submitting your reports, and you want to make sure you have a day or two to fine tune it and make sure you get your reports handled properly. Let's see. Let's see. Question. Shoes don't seem to move well on eBay. Have scanned 100 shoes at Marshalls, but only 1 to 2 sold on eBay. Want to get in the game. Amazon, not an option. Just buy and hold till they sell on eBay. Generally, yes, but you're going to want to make sure you're buying ones that are going to actually sell with a velocity that fits your business model, right? Because shoes are really expensive and you need to get that cash back so you can re-roll the dice on a pair of shoes that's going to sell faster. So you should have a pretty firm hard cutoff on how long you think it's going to take for you to sell. Look at Hustle B on Instagram. I don't know if it's Hustle B or the Hustle B, but I believe he sells all his shoes on eBay and he buys hundreds of pairs of shoes. So they're definitely selling. So you want to look to people that are having success in those areas and ask them for specific information. I don't personally sell shoes on eBay, so I'm not going to be able to answer that question so well. I'm happy to point you in the direction where someone can answer it for you, though. If you want to call in, the number is 209-83-Reezy. You're not allowed to call in if you haven't pressed the like button. I'm sorry, that's just how it is. And if you're listening to this on podcast, I would appreciate if you like it, please leave me a 5-star review. If you don't like it, leave me a 5-star review. If you want to call in, 209-83-Reezy. Let's see. D-Index, so what, says, peace, Reezy. Peace out, bro. Daniel Miller says, yo, Reezy, I have a question. I have a manufacturer on the East Coast, and I want them to ship to Amazon. But when I print an FBA shipping label, I'm on the West Coast. Does it even matter or what? No, you can choose where you're shipping your shipment from. You can change that. Let's see. It's in the shipping plan. You can change it. Just check about the address in the shipping plan or in the shipment. Ooh, Hector's in the Houston flood right now. Been waiting, wanting to source, but can't. Upscale Sales is coming with them. Inspiration says, I've found that to be an entrepreneur is an inside battle. The more you improve yourself and the mind and your mindset, the better you will do in business. Definitely. You got to want it to win it. And if you don't want it, you're not going to be in it. Can't help but rhyme. Larry Hughes says, I have $3,000 to start this venture. What do you recommend I start with? Books? I recommend everybody to start in books, whether or not they continue in books long term, just to learn Amazon's system. It's a very cheap way to learn the field. Like whatever, like say you don't stay in books long term, Amazon would be like playing rec ball, and you don't want to go into heavy competition, travel ball, where you got to buy all the best gear and you got to pay for flights and you got to travel around to 3 hours to games. Those are the close games, whatever. You want to learn how to play ball in the rec ball where it's cheap and you don't need the best equipment. That way you can learn how to play the game before you get into the upper echelon. So I recommend everybody to start out with books, whether or not they do books long term. 3,000 is a little bit of a cushion. You could go into private label or you could do wholesale. It's just a matter of what kind of time do you have? Do you have time to drive around sourcing books? Books don't exactly sell the fastest. They're very high beta, meaning they don't sell very fast. So, you don't have just a couple bucks, you have $3,000. So you might want to look into some other options. If you're listening to this, you should sign up for Amazon merch right now. Just leave my video, leave the podcast, whatever, open up your phone, open up your laptop, Google merch by Amazon and sign up, because it takes months to get approved and you might as well sign up right now. But that would be a good option for you, because with $3,000, you could get over 500 designs made around $4 each, and that would be some good income for you. The scanners that I have are not KDC. They're Opticon 2002, which is actually a better model. I call it the Ferrari of scanners. Hamilton B says, merch, can't wait to get approved. Awesome. Yeah, everyone should get on the game. ZZZ says, small to medium Home Depot box, fill it up, create shipping plan, rinse and repeat. Essentially, yeah, but there's more nuances to that. It would take me a while to explain the exact process to you, and that process could change at any time. That's why I don't like making super detailed videos like go over here and click on that, then do it like this, because what if I make a video and then Amazon changes the maximum box weight the next day? or they change where that button is on the screen where I told you to go click on or whatever. And then all of a sudden my videos are relevant. So, and also I feel like if you're going to follow someone's steps exactly on the super simple stuff like that, then you're not going to understand the business as a whole, and you're going to get into some trouble. Better to learn on yourself and make some mistakes. HD though, do you mean heavy duty? I don't use the heavy duty boxes. I just use the regular ones. Yeah, do not go over 50 pounds. I tell my employees don't go over 49 pounds. No links to click tonight, Reezy Resells. Do you have any scanners for sale? I do actually. DM me on Instagram if you're interested in getting a scanner, because I should have them available for sale in a couple days. I have them. I've tested them. I just ordered some USB cables, waiting for those to come in. I didn't want to ship them out to customers without USB cables, even though I would assume everybody has an extra USB mini cable laying around their house. Assuming is not a great thing to do in business. Question: how often do you get returns on books? Less than half of 1% of my customers are returning books. Let's see. Where can I source college textbooks? You can source them in a lot of places. I recommend checking out your local Facebook groups. Every college has a local at least one local Facebook group, and you can get in there and just say, hey, I buy textbooks. I'll pay you more than the college bookstore will. Holler at me. And you can make some sales and some connections like that. You can get them on Craigslist. You can get them at thrift stores. You can get them at used bookstores like Half Price Bookstores. 20 slackers out there, smash the like button. Yeah, if you're watching this and you appreciate the time that I put into this helping you guys out, please smash the like button. It really helps out my channel. Panda Rose says, I paid someone $500 to teach me how to Amazon and wholesale. It was worth it. Definitely, if you can get someone to teach you one-on-one, you're always going to save time. Let's see. Reezy, thanks for all your posts. What's a great place to get the books before reselling on Amazon? Go to my YouTube and watch some videos. I got some videos like that. Goodwill, Salvation Army, Friends of the Library book sales, definitely. Let's see. Are you still selling shoes? Yes, I am still selling shoes. I slowed down on purchasing them for various reasons, mostly being distracted, traveling. My business partner had a kid, but we are going to hammer the hell out of shoes for fourth quarter. Have you tried selling Lego on Amazon? Is it a good deal? A lot of people are restricted. I can sell Lego on Amazon, and a lot of people are restricted. So if you're asking that question, you're probably restricted. All right, guys, it's been an hour and 15 minutes. That's probably going to be the show. I appreciate all you guys for tuning in. If you got one more question, go ahead and shoot it up real quick. Shoot it up. That sounds terrible. Go ahead and post it in there real quick. Otherwise, I appreciate you guys tuning in to the broadcast. If you guys want to reach me at all, the quickest way to reach me is on Instagram at Reezy Resells. I generally reply to messages within a few hours at most, maybe one day. Also, you can hit me up on Snapchat. You can call into my Anchor radio station with a question using your voice, and I can answer that back with my voice, which is pretty fun. And also check out the website, reezy.tv. Or if you guys want to check out my YouTube videos, a quick link to check that out is reezy.live. And that will take you to my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. If you posted a question, thank you for helping me provide content for others. If you called in, thank you very much. Yeah, and just give the video a like before you peace out, and maybe come back and drop a comment after it's posted. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next Monday, right? And don't forget, guys, if you ain't flipping, you slipping. Peace out.